Picture this. You are working on a building renovation. You are laying out a new air conditioning duct, but there is a red pipe running right across the ceiling where your duct needs to go. It looks like a quick fix. You ask the contractor to move that red pipe 6 inches to the left. Touching that pipe triggers a massive chain reaction of legal liability, rigorous safety inspections, and skyrocketing costs. The trap is assuming every red pipe is standard plumbing. In reality, that red paint marks it as part of the building's fire protection system. Knowing exactly which kind of fire system you are dealing with is the absolute first step before anyone picks up a wrench. Treating all of these lines as interchangeable plumbing is a guaranteed way to fail your city inspections. And if you are taking your architecture licensing exams, confusing them will cost you points there too. Let's look at the first system, the standpipe. This is essentially a massive, high-pressure water backbone built into the building specifically for the fire department. You will usually find these connections inside stairwells. This setup allows firefighters to walk up the stairs and plug their hoses directly into the wall on the floor where they need it, saving them from dragging heavy, water-filled hoses all the way up from the street. This diagram shows the second system, the sprinkler. Unlike the manual standpipe, this is an automatic grid spread across the ceiling. When a fire starts, the heat rises and breaks a glass bulb on a single sprinkler head, releasing water directly over the flames. The standpipe is a waiting tool that requires a human to operate it, while the sprinkler is an active sentry that defends the space on its own. Confusing a localized automatic sprinkler line with a high-pressure firefighter standpipe breaks the core life safety strategy of the entire building. Look at this sprinkler network diagram. Every inch is mathematically balanced by a hydraulic calculation, ensuring exact water pressure. Watch what happens when we bend that pipe for an air duct. Extra length creates friction, causing pressure to drop into the danger zone. That pressure drop leads right into our second problem, the building's official hazard classification. Say you are converting a quiet office space into a crowded gym or a theater. A theater has a higher risk of fire, which means the law requires a much heavier output of water to keep people safe. You cannot stretch the old office pipes to fit the new theater. Moving a line forces a total recalculation, often requiring you to rip out the ceiling to install larger pipes and bigger water pumps to meet the new code. All those larger pipes have to go somewhere, leading to our third issue, fighting for space in a cramped ceiling. When you try to weave a thick, rigid pipe around a new air duct, you quickly run out of room. You might have a steel beam, or you might be forced to punch a new hole through a wall that was designed to block fires from spreading. Every time a pipe punctures one of those fire-rated walls, you have to use specialized sealants to perfectly close the gap, adding another mandatory inspection to your timeline. The final risk happens before you even cut the pipe. You have to turn the water off. If people are still using other parts of the building, draining the fire system leaves them completely defenseless. The law requires you to hire dedicated security personnel to walk the halls 24 hours a day, on a fire watch until the water is turned back on. Relocating a fire pipe requires breaking walls, recalculating the building's entire water supply, and compromising the daily safety of the occupants. If you are taking the architecture licensing exams, you will see this exact duct versus pipe conflict pop up as a test of how you handle risk. On the Project Planning and Design exam, or PPD, you are tested on the early stages of a project. The questions focus on your overall strategy and alternative routing. The correct strategy here is almost always to leave the fire pipe alone. You earn points by choosing to reroute your new air conditioning duct or by lowering the ceiling slightly, so you completely avoid touching the life safety system. The Project Development and Documentation exam, or PDD, takes a different angle. It tests your ability to properly draw the changes when moving the pipe is absolutely unavoidable. Here, you have to show how the plumbing and mechanical drawings line up to avoid collisions. You must explicitly detail the sealants used when that pipe cuts through a fire-rated wall. The PPD exam asks you to make the smartest design choice to avoid risk altogether. The PDD exam asks how you properly detail and document the risk you are forced to take. This comparison matrix locks in the differences. The standpipe is a manual, high-pressure stairwell line. The sprinkler is an automatic, heat-triggered ceiling grid. Highlighting these rows shows the core difference. Standpipes are strictly for trained firefighters, while sprinklers operate completely automatically the moment heat arrives. Grasping this prevents massive project delays, saves your budget, and keeps a building's occupants protected. It also happens to be exactly what you need to know to pass your licensing exams. When you open up a ceiling during a renovation, an existing fire protection pipe is the absolute last thing you should try to move.